Welcome everyone to today's discussion on a timely and thought-provoking topic, indecent dressing. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll be discussing on indecent dressing. So I would love to ask, what are your thoughts on indecent dressing and how do you define it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Once again, my thoughts cannot be different from the general people's opinion or thoughts. And something that when something is indecent, it's indecent. It's obscure. It does not conform to the conformity of the societal norms. But then, like you throw the two questions, we need to get the definition of what indecent dressing means before we can now be able to see how we can analyze it.
Okay.
Yes, indecent dressing is a dress code that deviates from acceptable social norms. It offends man and God and provokes sinful thoughts and desire that leads people to danger and destruction. Every dressing is a language, and it speaks to people about who the wearer is. So every dress code deviates from the one accepted in the community is termed indecent. The terms indecent and indecency have so much to do with morality of individual and person and judged by others. So you see where I tell you that it's not just my own opinion, it is the opinion of the public, the general public.
Okay, you are saying that indecent dressing must be judged by others.
Yes, because that's why we say that your life is a mirror in which others look at life. Yet you could dress up in the house, but it's very important. That's why it's important when you dress up in the house, you need to have a mirror, a standing mirror. That's why having a standing mirror in the house, in your room, in the dressing room, is very important. Where you have nobody to say, okay, oh, what you are putting on is not right, or what you are putting on is right. So the standing mirror in your house will guide you. You dress up, you look at it, because as soon as you go out, that mirror is the reflection of what people will say about you when you go out. If you feel convinced that the way you're dressed is okay, it is the mirror that will tell you. If you feel convinced that what you're wearing is not okay, the mirror will tell you. But it will be very nice, you guide yourself through use of that mirror. Because the expression of the public towards you at that point in time will not be palatable. Okay. You might not like it. When you are properly dressed, it's not everybody that will tell you, oh, your dressing is good. But when you are not properly dressed, people might not tell you. Their reactions, maybe the way they look at you, will speak a lot about what you're wearing.
So what can you then term as indecent dressing?
Well, indecent dressing comes in different forms, like the definition is here. What is not accepted by a community? You have various communities in a country. Let's start from the paramilitary,
all right,
which is already a regimented uniform.
All right.
Yes, paramilitary, they have what we call regimented uniform.
All right.
The police, the civil defense, correctional service, the air force, the army.
Yes.
To name a few. They all have what we call already a regimented dressing. Their dress code is defined, and it is even the dress code that defines them. When you see a custom man without bringing out his identification card, his dressing will already tell you outrightly, oh, this is a Nigerian custom.
Okay.
Yes, and you see how do you call it, immigration officer, Nigerian Immigration Services officer on the road. You now go right away, this is an immigration person. That's why I called it regimented uniform. Then when you now bring it down to civil dressing, and we have a dress code for civil servants. Are you with me?
Yes.
Maybe in our subsequent discussions, we'll be able to define, look at what does the dress code put in place for those civil servants. Even footballers, athletes, they have their dress code. And this, like I told you, it defines who you are. You wake up in the morning, you are going to your work, you have a mind. Before you wake up, before you set out from where you are going in the morning, you must know where you are going and know the kind of thing you put on to match where you are going.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think this is going to go to my next question. I just wanted to ask you, how do you think societal norms and expectation influence our perception of indecent dressing? Because you just mentioned immigration plays, going to work. So I want you to throw more light on this. How societal norms and expectation influence our perception of indecent dressing?
Beautiful. Oftentimes, people have asked the question, they say indecent dressing, that Nigerians don't have a dress code.
Dress code, okay.
Which is, how do I put it? Is unheard of. Anybody who is saying that is not maybe knowledgeable of what dress code is all about.
Do we have a dress code?
Yeah, we have a dress code.
Okay.
I have just told you now. The police, we have Nigerian police.
Aside the military, like...
No, I'm coming.
Okay.
You have the police. Aside the military. You have a dress code for civil servants.
Okay.
Next time I'll read it out for you. I'll bring it from that archive, I'll read it for you. And then when you now come to non-conventional societies, talking like the religious bodies, are you with me?
Okay.
You have an imam who is a preacher of the Quran, a Quran scholar. He has his uniform, he has a dress code for that particular, for the pulpit.
Are you saying, aside his dress code, anything else that he's wearing is an indecent dress?
No, it might not be exactly adjourned as an indecent dressing because it does not match for the purpose which he is wearing it at that point.
Okay.
Yes.
You're saying it says, sorry for cutting you off. Are you saying it says that our dressing should match with the occasion?
Yes, yes, it should be matched to the situations. Like you see a pastor on the road. Definitely, most of them are known with what they call the Roman collar. Whatever they wear is defined by the Roman collar.
Okay.
Are you with me? And even I have been to several churches where I see that not only the spiritual leader that wears that dress code, they have societies that have uniforms, which they define them with it.
Okay.
So all these purposes are components of Nigerian society. So you don't tell me that Nigeria don't have a dress code.
All right. So I want to ask you, don't you think that an individual should have the freedom to choose their attire without any restriction?
That depends on what you mean by that. If I get your question very correctly, an individual who is an independent, if I understand you, who is an independent body, who is not neither a civil servant nor in the paramilitary, because there are two sides now,
okay.
isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Your dressing must be in conformity within that vicinity which you stay.
Okay.
It might not be exactly the same uniform, but what we look at is decent. It must be decent.
So what do you term decent in this case?
Decent is when somebody is properly dressed.
Okay.
To match, like you're going to bed. You don't wear a suit to bed.
Yes.
Yes. Bedroom has its dress code.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes.
The doctor, the medical doctor, they have their dress code. What they call, what do they call that? Is this medical code? I forgot. What the word in going around.
Okay. Lab code.
A lab code.
Yes.
Thanks for that. Thanks for bringing me that way. They have the lab code for one round. Am I right?
Yes.
Nurses have their dress code.
Yes.
You see a nurse, you know he's a nurse.
Okay.
Even when you are going to bed, even in Africa, I know that some people tie wrapper to bed.
Okay.
Something that is a little bit convenient for you. There's some, let me say, some civil society wear what they call nightgown and even waistcoat.
Okay.
And that waistcoat is worn when you are coming out from their bedroom. There's a knock, an early morning visitor who has come, and you don't even want to because he's not supposed to see you with that nightgown. He puts on what? A waistcoat to cover and come and attend to your visitor.
Okay. So you have been mentioning about night clothes. What about social events?
Yeah, social
when
events.
You talk about party. No, it also has a dress code because you're not going to wear suits to party.
Yes, in group party. That's why I told you that maybe we need to segment this topic.
Okay.
Because it's very broad. It's coming in a wider spectrum. Night parties, they have their dress code.
Okay.
Yes. Some decide to wear what we call a long gown or a skirt for ladies. And then you see men wearing a black suit with a bow tie.
Okay.
You don't wear, this one is considered to be office style.
Okay.
Then the bow tie is mostly being meant for cocktail and parties for men.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
And then there are some light parties that could require that you wear what we call French suit. That light party is the one that is done in the afternoon. Yes.
So then how can you now balance personal freedom with respect for others' feeling and boundaries? In the sense that I think the incident you're talking about when someone wears provocative clothes, do you understand?
Yes.
That is not like generally acceptable. But there are times these things are acceptable because of let's say climate change. Because when you go overseas, I used to hear that they used to wear singlets, wear short because of the weather, and it's acceptable in that area. Do you understand? They wear their bikini and go to.
No, yes, I'm with you.
So, how do you then balance personal freedom and respect for others? And also, talking about, I still want to focus on this societal norms and belief, cultural belief. How do you what do you have to say about this country, Nigeria, wearing that kind of a thing? You know, when you wear it in this country, they're looking at you as if you are committing a crime. What do you have to say?
Do the thing you brought up this question. In UK, when I was in UK, that was about early 70s. I lived in Newcastle. What they call that's light dressing you're talking of.
Okay, light dressing.
Is during summer.
Okay, during
they
summer.
They could wear what do you call a bag? I mean a short put trouser.
Okay.
Or short put with sandals.
Okay.
For they're always cold. They're always clothed.
Okay.
So they wear this thing for what we call. They even go to beach for suntan.
Okay.
To get the sun to tan their skin.
Okay.
From that butter color to a kind of dark one. They wear it just aside. They don't wear it for any official function.
Okay.
And that picnic you are talking is that when you go for swimming, they have their own dress code, which is restricted. There are dresses. Such dresses are restricted for a special occasion for moral reasons.
Okay.
You wear swimming pool, after the swimming, you dress up properly and come back and meet the people in the public.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes.
And then, if you say, like what they claim, and mind you, the cultural norms in Europe is different from the cultural norms we have in Africa, especially in Nigeria. Africa or Nigeria is the seat, the hobnob of morals.
Okay.
Yes, we value morals, and which starts with dressing and dressing and respect. Even when you have respect for yourself, you will like to clothe yourself very well. Those things you are talking are adapted or imported fashions, which is not suitable for our culture. It is an obscure. Okay, if you say you're how do I call it? If you say you are a musician, we've had musicians over times who played music, and their music lifted the spirit of people. We have people like Ebenezer Obey, a lot of them, Osadebe and the rest of them. They played with lyrics that has meaning and uplifts the spirits.
Okay.
And you see them on stage playing, they dress very, very properly. But these days, what you see is a kind of a gangster musicians, where they even go to the extent of smoking prohibited tobacco on stage, which is influencing the youth we are trying to bring out from the dungeon. You sag, you have only your pants in the name, or you wear singlet in the name of you are playing music. You are selling a product of a foreign culture. For God's sake, we don't want it here.
Okay.
It is not acceptable. I have to say it. You must, like our players will come to that. We have written a letter, maybe I'll show a copy of it. We have written to the chairman of National Sports Commission, congratulating him on appointing Eric Charlie for the DC. The basic point we raise in that letter that we should ensure that our players don't plait hair, because we don't know the difference between male players and female players these days. Those things are deceptive. In law, we call it elements of criminality. That's what they call it. That is what you call it, deception. Claiming to be what you are not.
All right, then how can we separate indecent dressing from fashion? Because like you rightly said, this is fashion, but right now you're considering it as indecent dressing, or rather it is indecent dressing. I just want to know.
There are dichotomy between these two.
Okay. They
have no marriage at all. They have no relationship.
Okay.
Indecent dressing and fashion have no relationship. There's a dichotomy between the two. A fashion, you know, is something that is trending. Anything can trend. A bad thing can trend. A good thing can trend. Are you with me? Yes. A bad thing can trend. A good thing can also trend. A fashion.
Bad now trend more than the good ones.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying there should be a line. A very thick line, not even thin, between fashion. Bringing the two, they have no relationship. Let them not use that to dilute fashion. Indecent dressing, it can also come during the period of fashion.
Okay, yes.
Are you with me?
Exactly.
Yesterday, in my little village where I stay, I was coming out from the street. I saw a student wearing his school, that was his school uniform, with singlet. He's saying, I had to stop him because they know me. I caught him. I said, go back. Go back to the house and wear a shirt. And I told him that on Monday, I know him, I know them, I'm going to come to his school. So what do you call that one? Wearing a singlet in a public place. I'm a student for that matter, a youth that we are trying to groom. The leaders of tomorrow.
Maybe he's feeling hot.
Hot. Is it really feeling hot? And I was going to it was even an official hour. So you'll be able to know the difference between crazy dressing and decent dressing.
Now you've shared your personal experience. So what's your advice to those of us, those of them watching you right now? What's your advice? Those things that they consider fashion, knowing it to them is indecent dressing, because that's what is in vogue. That's what is in vogue. When they see this musician wearing them, and before you know it, it's trendy, and everybody wants to get it and looking at it as beautiful, but not knowing or knowingly it's indecent dressing. What do you have to tell them watching you right now, your advice to the youth? Because it's more, and like you said, youths that like to buy this fashion of let's say indecent dressing, they love to buy it. So what's your advice to them right now?
Before I get to that, you know one funny thing about this? 1, 2 trends that not just once I've accosted people on the street or probably in a confined place.
Okay.
Why are you wearing this? Oh, that's the way I bought it.
Yes, that's the way they bought it.
So you see I don't know how I'm going to put it. That how can you get your money, especially those who buy these crazy jeans?
Crazy jeans.
Get your money, your hard-earned money. You go and give it to somebody who is a daft. Because the person selling that thing is not, if I might use a language, I don't think he's normal. For you to sell a rag, display a rag on your, how do you call it, on the public, a rag that is supposed to be thrown in the dustbin, you are selling it. Somebody will also come and buy and see how they're proud to wear it and tell you I bought it that way.
And very expensive.
And very expensive. So we see that we need to begin to work on our social psychology.
Okay. Social psychology.
Yes, we need to begin to work on that. To know that the person that is why I've discussed with quite a lot of people, government officials. If there is a law prohibiting people from selling hard drugs, there should be also same for those who are selling okrika, a rag, because that's deceit. So actually, we are working on them, especially for those of them who are listening to this program. It is very wrong. Everything that is good is good. Everything that is bad is bad. Indecent dressing is bad. Whether it is a fashion, like I told you, a fashion is something that is trending, a design that is being made for a particular season. Okay. Yes. Imagine this morning, I was at my bus stop. I was sitting there. I saw a mad person. He has a jeans and all this. Though he's not even wearing a torn jeans. So okay. His own jeans is good. His shirt is good. The only thing that you will know that makes him a mad person is that he's looking dirty and very scruffy. Are you with me? So when I just looked at him, my mind just flashed back to these boys who leave their hair unkept. We are wearing a torn jeans. What's the difference between you and that man? And you expect that we should accept you in a decent society. It is not accepted. And that's why we are placing the banners of Indecent National. Like yesterday, I will bring to that during the update.
Okay.
Yes, we are printing the banner and telling them these things are no longer no spin, leg chain, a tattoo, what do you call these crazy jeans, sagging, tinted hair. All these things are no longer. Which part of the community in Nigeria that accept those things? Is it the police? Is it done in police? Is it done in paramilitary? Is it in the church? Is it in the mosque? Are you with me? Is it in the market? Where are they learning that thing from? And where do they want to take it to? It is no longer accepted. And the families who don't want it, we want, like I told you, we want to push it back to the border. Because I told you it's an acquired fashion, culture. We need to push it back to where they come from. It's not part of us in Nigeria. Okay, look at our flag. Let me bring something that will interest you. You see our flag. How many colors does it have? Two.
Green, white, green.
Green, white. What does the green stand for? Maybe you can help us.
Agriculture. And white for peace.
And again?
Green for agriculture, white
peace
for peace.
Means purity.
Purity. Okay.
I was coming this morning, I was thinking about our flag. Nigeria has the best flag that is unique in the world. Yes, our flag, if you begin to write on our flag and define it, the person who gave this flag, who designed this flag for us, the Spirit of God guided him.
All right. Is there any update, Mr. Matade?
Yes. Over the week, the chairman of the Karo local government, in the person of Barrister Honorable Monarchy, his secretary, the vice chairman, in short, the executives of Karo, they received us so well, and we even received the moral rebranding, the coat of arms, the crests, the attributes of mother home, and finally the moral rebranding banner, which they have instructed that they should be placed at the front entrance of the gates.
Wow.
No more accessing that gate if you are not properly dressed.
That's the right move, in the right direction.
Yes. The chairman said, no way in my local government it is no longer acceptable, because he is the head, he is the father of that place. He has said it. As of yesterday, I had a discussion with the secretary to the council. Council handed over the banner to the chief of staff. The chief of staff handed it to the chief security. It should be placed with enforcement, not only within the local government, within the secretariat, but across the length of jurisdiction, local government jurisdiction. Because these things are a sabotage to economy of a country. It's a sabotage to social being of a country. It gives a country a bad name. It breeds a lot of indecent in the society. And Nigeria is not for that. And we cannot be thinking of harboring these things when we are thinking of being the headquarters of moral rebranding in the world.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Matade.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I remain Elizabeth Ikonne and Mr. Matade. Remember, you can follow us at NYST Radio TV or at Adwire Media. Till we come your way again. Bye.
Bye-bye.
For now.
Our photograph.